And that is the unique benefit of Palantir.
You're going to get bombarded by various software products. Has the software ever been used in the battlefield? Should be the first question. Software is not a theoretical thing. I spent the first part of my life as an academic. There are a lot of theoretically relevant questions. The first question in a software context is, who's used it? How have they used it? What are the results? You can't, these things take 5, 6 years to build if you're very good at it. And you need access to the battlefield. Like, you can't build these things in a lab. So one of the advantages, quite frankly, we've had is we've been on the battlefield. Why have we had that advantage? It's one of these bug feature things, because everyone in the Silicon Valley was bereft of common sense. They were busy exporting things to adversaries and corroding our system with carcinogens in the context of the consumer internet, so we got access to the battlefield.
So in the clip you just saw, Alex Karp was talking about something that is incredibly important to understand if you're investing in Palantir or thinking about investing in Palantir. In fact, it's one of the reasons that I think Palantir is such an exciting company to invest in. Most people and their arguments against Palantir are that the company's been around since 2003, have barely made a profit. They just made a profit recently, but they're an unprofitable company, 20 years. What's going on with this company? Has been around forever. Well, you got to ask yourself the question, why has it been around forever? Why would the government continue to buy deals and contracts with a company that's been around for 20 years? Why has the company not made a profit for 20 years? The conventional response is, oh, they just don't know how to manage themselves. They don't really get business. They're too focused on product. The unconventional approach is wondering, maybe there's something to the product that actually required years and years of failure before coming true. In that clip, Alex Karp is basically talking about the nature of theoretical philosophy versus practical philosophy. Now, Alex Karp has a PhD from Germany, so he understands the nature of being theoretical and being abstract. He is an academic by nature. So when we think about this, he's talking now about the practical applications of software on the battlefield. Software has to work. Software cannot be theoretical. There are philosophical implications to understand the nature of how software is implemented, but at the end of the day, it has to actually work. So his question to the audience is that if you're buying software for mission-critical use cases for the battlefield, does it work? That is the only question that matters when it comes to these decisions, because that question not only is a business question, but it's a question of life or death. Palantir was first created to protect civil liberties. So there's a larger philosophical abstraction that Karp and Thiel have always been striving towards, which is how do we build a product that actually protects people in the face of a state becoming tyrannical? The reason Palantir was created after 9/11 was because the idea was if we could stop terrorists with algorithms, we could stop the state, i.e. the government, from becoming more tyrannical. Because once there's a terrorist attack, now the state feels that they have to protect all their citizens, which means they have to infringe on their civil liberties. This philosophy was embedded over the past 15 years into the actual technology in order to create software and products that were philosophically motivated but practically worked. Those philosophies of protecting civil liberties were not conventional. In fact, no one really cared about them. And the reason no one cared about them, as Karp talks about, is because you had the biggest tech companies in the world over the past 2 decades being formed off the backs of monetizing attention. Facebook, Google, Amazon, Snapchat, they all just got a bunch of people to post their content in one place and figured out how to sell as many crappy ads as they could to make a lot of money. Karp said, hey, we have a different approach. We are going to build software with a philosophy in mind that is practical on the battlefield. And in order for us to do this, we need to be able to work on the battlefield. We need to be able to experiment. We need to be able to fail. We need to actually have the time given by our investors, which means we need to have strategic incentives with our investors that don't want to profit today, but want a product that can make profits for the next 100 years if we have the time to be able to build it. And essentially, Palantir became a monopoly on the battlefield because even the biggest tech companies in the world, like Google, did not care about saving soldiers, protecting the US government, actually building software that matters. They cared about building Google glasses. Facebook cares about the metaverse. And so this is one of the most unique value propositions to Palantir. There is a philosophy associated with their product, but there's a practical application of that philosophy that makes the product work. If the product is not practical, meaning it is basically a PowerPoint, it can't actually be implemented, then it's worth nothing. But the irony is, in order for it to be worth something, it has to be built with so many philosophical ideals that takes years and years and years of revision, because if not, you're gonna get a product that is hacked by Cambridge Analytica and allows millions of users' data to basically be given away for free. If you are a Palantir investor, I think the #1 question to ask yourself is why? Why has this company taken so long to get to a point where they might actually become big? Why have they taken so long to launch products? Why have they constantly gone through revisions? And when you look deeper into the crux of the company, you see that they had ideals that they did not want to sacrifice. In fact, they moved from Silicon Valley to Colorado because they felt the culture that was in the place where they worked was not set up to support their ideals. Those ideals matched with practical implementation of technology that actually works. Ukraine using their product is a testament to how much it works, means that you're investing in something that is real. And are there a lot of problems? Are there a lot of issues? Sales, marketing? Sure. That exists with any company. But my investment thesis is, can you fix the external things like sales and marketing? And can you fix the product? Most companies cannot fix the product because the product takes years and years and years and a very special culture to be able to create in a meaningful way. That part, I believe Palantir has solved. The rest can be solved as long as we give them enough time.